Turn up.
What's up everyone, Personality here, bringing you all the news from the wider fighting game community, whether it's from a casual or competitive perspective. But before we get on today's discussion, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has been liking, commenting, and has even subscribed thus far. Your support is tremendous in making these videos happen because I can better tell what you guys want to see. But without further ado, let's get into today's discussion. So ArcSys has provided us with the footage that we've been waiting for a long time, but now we get a look at Johnny. Johnny is here. Well, he's not here yet, but in a few days he'll be right there. What I must say is that Johnny has not changed much. Just like his design, his playstyle remains relatively the same, relatively underscore. By that I mean that not much of his normals or core functionality has changed. The coin system is gone, guys. There is no coin system, and it hasn't been replaced with a card system either. That's not necessarily a system because it's an infinite resource. There's no fear of running out of it during your playthrough of Johnny. Neither is there a need for a super to recharge a resource that's no longer there. I think once again with another installment, Johnny has become less of a complex character and has been made much easier to approach by any beginners, by any pros. Anyone can pick up Johnny. It doesn't mean that his cards don't add anything to his playstyle. As we can see, once he hits the card with Misfiner, it activates Turn Up, and that's an additional damage to the opponent as well as launching them in the air. Interesting things would be his Misfiner Air addition that he's getting carried over from Exert. Now it's an overhead on all hits, and you can use it in the air. It still remains a grounded special. That's his core functionality there, the Misfiner. There's no ArcSys. I guess as much there is no need for ArcSys because the main purpose of ArcSys was that once you get the empowered Misfiner, you wanted a tool that would allow you to guarantee hitting your Misfiner, so you didn't just build up all of these coins for nothing. But now with that kind of removes some of his pressure or Okizemi options, because now you have a case where he can't get that knockdown to set up something additional. But Turn Up is looking great with the card system with Deal, because once he uses Deal and then he hits that card with the Misfiner, you get additional damage as well as launching the opponent in the air. I like the Deal format. I'm gonna miss the coins. I genuinely like the coins. I think it was really baller of him to be tossing coins all over, boosting his Misfiner. But perhaps, you know, sometimes Guilty Gear Strive confuses me because sometimes you see these extremely complex characters like Asuka, you could put Zato in that mix, and even Jaco, and then you just have characters who have had that complexity in the past, but then they get carried over and you result in characters like Johnny. Now, one thing I also like is that, yes, while the Deal doesn't exactly function as a projectile while grounded, once Johnny launches in the air and would use Deal in the air, you'd actually see it become a projectile. And it works in conjunction with one of his movement options, which is Vault. So Vault acts as a replacement for moves such as Zuehada or Divine Blade, which he would have had in different games. It's still his same movement option. It's just that once you use that in conjunction with Heavy Slash, then you basically do Deal and then you get a card out through. Now we're actually seeing the return of Nsenga. Now Nsenga was missing from Johnny and Exert, you know, they kind of give it to me. And now he has it back. Some people are saying that it should be called Nsenga with a question mark because it doesn't work exactly the same angle, but it's there. He has it back again. He's just too drippy to even complain about certain things until, you know, maybe just starts to dominate all of us online. But some of you would definitely like that because probably you'd be in the position of John. I really like That's My Name. It is invincible on startup. It's a good way to come back into the match again when you're possibly being pressured and you see that slight opening. You could take advantage of that. And of course, Joker Trigger is also a really interesting looking special. It has a range because you're pelting that card, praying that it hits your opponent. But Johnny, I think, looks great in this trailer based on what we've seen. I know some longtime Johnny fans were possibly hoping for a little retained element of complexity that they would have loved their character for all these years, and we've actually seen this culture of Guilty Gear simplify things more and more, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think his core functionality remains. People are going to have to keep track of all these cards coming out because you don't want to be in range of Miss Finer and still get him blown up by the deal special and turn up special that is out there. But to me, I'm telling y'all, I've been looking forward to see Johnny in Strive for a long time, and how they bring him over is the exact way that we've known Johnny for multiple of years, you know, minus a good few here and there, but Johnny is back with us, and on the 24th, I'm pretty sure everybody is going to be excited to try this character out. I definitely like the card system. While I think there could have been a resource just like the coins, it's not that much of a pressing issue that has to come back. I also like that it gives an advantage. If it is that your opponent decides, okay, I'm just gonna block Miss Finer, when you use it with deal, you're getting plus on block if you use these two moves in conjunction. So you've always got to be on your toes when you're fighting a mid-range character like Johnny, because they could just have you playing exactly how they want to play. Another thing I didn't really like that much was the removal of the ability for Johnny to move while holding the miss stance. It's a case where in other games you could actually do the miss stance, the teleport, what he does across the screen. This is a bad way to illustrate it, but when he does that in this game, he now automatically comes out of it. You could still get the attack off by releasing the button when you teleport or you do the dash, but in other games he could have had that as a movement option. I mean, he could still walk with it, but dashing would automatically cancel it. And speaking of Miss Finer cancels, that's a bit easier now, because beforehand it was a case where you had to possibly put in a heavy slash input at a very precise moment when you did the whole motion for Miss Finer. Now it's a case you could just press heavy slash, it doesn't come out, and you get out of the stance immediately. But just before we wrap up, along with Johnny, there's a lot of things coming out right about now in terms of the Season 3 patch, due to the fact that there's a tournament going on that has the privilege of experiencing Season 3 first and foremost. And from what people have gathered online, so far the things that they've discovered is that the burst gauge regens faster, the gold burst now gives positive meter, burst is full screen, Geo has new moves that powers up her special moves and can cancel into them, Eno has a guard crush move, Nago's 6 heavy is not cancelable, Chip 6k slower startup but it combos into 2k, Potemkin Mega Fist tumbles, Leo's heavy DP no longer invulnerable, Kai's stun dipper is now 7 frames, and Bedman has a 2/2 heavy slash frame traps, and he also keeps all errors post wall break. So these are just things that people have found. I didn't want to add that to this video, but I think these are the ones that I've actually seen the concrete evidence for. But you know what, with all that technicality, we're eventually going to get the patch notes and see these changes. But that's all that I'm really gonna want to talk about today in today's video. So guys, let me know, do you like how Johnny is shaping up? Do you think this is a good way to implement Johnny into Strive? And are you looking forward to Season 3 as we're just around the corner? I mean, come on, we're what, just a week away for Season 3? And then we're getting Johnny and so much more to come. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about everything thus far. Who do you expect to come next? And of course, I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, stay gaming.